ॐ श्रीगणेशाय नमः। श्रीसरस्वत्यै नमः। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। Chapter 10. Life of Nyandev continued. The four siblings made a namaskar to the Brahmins, and having asked their permission to take away the buffalo, they obtained leave from the Brahmins and started on their way. As they left the town, the Brahmins walked with them to see them off. Tears filled their eyes and they lovingly embraced them. As the siblings walked along the road full of joy, they sang the praises of Lord Hari and composed wise verses containing the 9 emotions. When they arrived at the sacred town of Mahalaya, modern day Nevasa, they remained there. They bathed in the sacred waters of the Pravara river, and there they met the Lord of Mohini. Here Jnaneshwar composed his Marathi commentary on the Bhagavad Gita and showed an easy way for the dull-minded, the fools, and all the ignorant persons. To begin with, it is like the power of the wish tree which is made to appear beautiful through the imagination, or like the full moon raining down nectar for the chakor bird. Nyandev composed this Marathi book to make plain the deep meaning of the Bhagavad Gita in order that the wise, God-loving, pious men might have true knowledge. Nivritti, who was Nyandev's Sadguru, lovingly said to him, "From your own thoughts on the subject, compose the Amrit Anubhav." Replying that he would do so, he placed his head at his Sadguru's feet. Then giving thought to his own spiritual experiences, he composed the Amrit Anubhav. Then the party left that place, and as they walked along the path, they lovingly repeated the names of God. At night, they lodged in some town and performed a kirtan in honor of Hari. Having left all thoughts of love and affection, of honor and dishonor, and all pride of body, they looked upon every creature from Brahmadev to insects as the same. One day, while walking along the path, they encamped in the forest belonging to Alandi. Here the animal that recited the Vedas died. Having placed it in a tomb, they worshipped it and smeared it with chendur. That place is still called Masoba. Then they all arrived at Alandi, and all the people there felt very happy. With feelings of love, they worshipped their feet and embraced them. The people had already heard about what happened at Paitan. In addition, Sopan showed the Brahmins the letter he had brought with him. Listening to it, all were amazed. It was clearly written in the letter that the 3 brothers were the avatars of the gods. Hearing this, the Brahmins were lost in wonder and remarked, "These Sadgurus have become avatars for our sake." Jnaneshwar and his opponent Visoba Chati. There was a very hateful Brahmin there, whose name was Visoba Chati. He was continually reviling these 4 children. He exclaimed, "These are the children of a sannyasi. One should not look into their faces. If we look at them, they will make us the same as themselves." Now it happened on a particular occasion that the festivals of Dasra and of the lights were being celebrated. Nivritti said to Muktabai, "Prepare some very excellent pancakes for us and give them to us to eat." Assenting at once, she collected the materials necessary for cooking. In order to bake these cakes, she went to the potter's factory for an earthen pan. As she went along the street, she suddenly observed Visoba. Seized with fear, Muktabai hid herself behind something. He at once rushed to her and said to her, "For what purpose are you hastening? Tell me at once." When Muktabai heard him say this, she trembled violently. Just as a deer, when searching for water in a forest, sees a hunter in the distance, or as, when a cow sees a tiger, she trembles violently with fear, so with extreme fear, she replied, "I am going to the potter's field to purchase an earthen pan. Nivritti has told me to make some pancakes." Hearing her reply, Visoba broke out into a laugh. He struck Muktabai and then went and told the potter that if he gave her the earthen pan, he would punish him at once. "I have lent you money and I shall demand it at once." Hearing this threat, the potter was very troubled. Just then Muktabai arrived and said to the potter, "Give me an earthen pan on which to bake my cakes." The potter answered her, "We have not yet prepared the earthenware for baking. After I have baked them, then you may come and take it away." Hearing his reply, Muktabai returned to her home very much concerned and weeping with a pitiful voice. Just then Jnaneshwar returned after performing his bath, and suddenly there fell on his ear Muktabai's pitiful cry. Jnandev drew her close to himself and asked her, "Why are you sad? Tell me at once." So Muktabai narrated all the events to Jnandev. Just then Visoba Chati began to look at them from a distance through a window, and in order to hear everything they said in detail, he stood outside. Jnandev then said to Muktabai, "Why are you being troubled for nothing? I wonder what I should do in view of his character." Jnaneshwar's power of yoga. Jnandev then made use of his powers of yoga and kindled his internal fire, and flames came out of his mouth. His eyes were seen to be blood hot, like gold when heated, so his back became bright red. Visoba stood outside and viewed the wonderful sight. Jnaneshwar then said to Muktabai, "Bake the cakes on my back." She immediately brought together the materials for the cake and properly rolled them out. In a moment, the cakes were baked and ready, and Jnandev put out his internal fire. She served the milk of bhakti and love in a cup of joy. Then for sugar, she used the joy of peace, whose sweetness is unlimited. Into this milk, she broke the cakes of experience, and the four sat down together to eat them. Nivritti, Jnandev, Sopan, and the sister Muktabai. As all four partook of the first morsel, they exclaimed, "Sri Hari is the real enjoyer of this meal." All this time, Visoba stood outside watching the wonderful sight. Then, with a repentant heart, he thought to himself, "These are really divine people. I have needlessly troubled them. I have not taken proper thought. I found a mine of jewels and diamonds, and I thought they were glass beads. And so by a careless thought, I took a sling in my hand and slung away wish jewels." Having thus repented, Visoba said to himself, "I must go as a suppliant to them. I must take by force what they leave on their plates and thus bring about my well-being." Thus thinking, Visoba rushed into their home and came into the room where they were eating. Jnandev hid his plate behind him, but Visoba forcibly swooped down on it and grabbed from it a morsel of food. As he put his morsel into the mouth, Jnaneshwar said to him, "Why are you becoming a scavenger bird? Go away from here at once." Hearing this, Visoba took that thought to his heart, and no language can describe his state. Whatever is beyond description in words was here united into one person, and the darkness of his ignorance entirely disappeared. A sound comes out of a bell, then disappears in the same place. So, becoming united with Brahma's essential form, Visoba remained without any duality in his nature. Then, joining his hands together palm to palm, he placed his head on Jnandev's feet. Jnandev understood his thought and gave him the blessing of assurance. Just as Valmiki put aside his evil nature as soon as he saw Narad, so, by association with Jnandev, Visoba gained a character of goodness. Because Jnandev said to him, "Why are you eating like a scavenger bird?" from that time he was called Visoba Khechar. With this, we complete part 2 of Jnandev. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.